Hey guys, with the fall weather coming up, one of the neat activities we can do with both oil pastels and or pencil crayons is actually trying to capture the color of leaves in our artwork. So here's one I did earlier, and we can see some of the greens that show up in the leaf are apparent. But in this video, I'm going to show you how we can do this, and the class can take a walk outside, pick up some leaves, and then you can come back in and try to make a collage of various leaves in various colors on your page and in your artwork. So the easiest way to start this, I got a new page going. It's the one trick you can use once you've got your leaf, okay, is literally to trace it. And because we know maple leaves are not the easiest shape to draw, right? I'm just going to lightly go around the outside contour of my leaf. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just get the general shape. It's going to move a little bit, and that's okay. Because in the end, it's going to look like a leaf anyway, as long as you get the shapes, or approximate shape. I missed that sort of top piece. And the unique part here is that none of our lines are straight lines based on the fact the leaf naturally isn't straight. Draw the stem in by hand, otherwise we get a really wide sort of stem. So as I'm trying to look at the colors of this leaf particularly, right, we've got greens, we've got oranges, we've got red, and we've got yellows, as well as the brown in the stem. So if I'm going to start with oil pastels, what I'm going to start with is I'm going to start sort of on the outside edge. So I'm going to pick an orange color here, orange pastel. And if you're using pencil crayon, this works the exact same way, and I'll do another one with pencil crayon in a second. And I'm just slowly going to sort of outline the shape of my leaf. And it doesn't matter if you go outside the line, because we're going to be blending and merging anyway, which is another important part with pastels anyway. Your pencil lines will show through the pastel mark. So the harder your pencil lines are, the more likely they are to show. As I go around my leaf, complete that outside edge. Okay. And as I look back at my example here, there's a lot of orange on the inside, right? So what I can do here is I'm going to actually now lightly, very, very lightly, I'm just going to do a light sort of scribble, almost as if I have a crayon with my pastel, and just put down sort of an orange base on the inside of my leaf. Doesn't have to be even. Spread it out afterwards. Right. And then I want to blend some of this color in, especially on the outside. I want to smoothen that line a little bit. And, you know, you can use your finger, you can use a Kleenex, piece of paper towel. You know, I'm just sort of, if you have a finger, just put it in there and get it pressure. Just sort of blend those edges out so it's not such a hard line. Okay. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually try to capture some of this yellow that's in the leaf sort of on the outside. So the same thing, I'm going to take my yellow pastel and doing the same sort of thing. I'm just going to follow the inside line of the blended line that I just did. So not quite the same detail on the outside, right? Now I'm just sort of roughly following the outside edges. More like the maple leaf sort of shape you'd see on our flag, right? Straighter lines. And again, I'm just adding a little bit more here. So then I'm going to come back through again, and with my finger or Kleenex or anything you've got, I'm going to blend that in again. There we go. So now we're starting to get that smooth transition of orange and yellow. Right, you can go back over it a couple times if you want some more yellow and more detail and more orange. So, you know, I think my orange out here could be a little darker. Or I want more of the orange blending into the yellow. Right? The pastels are going to take the most color from whatever color was put on top. Right, so if I put the yellow on top of the orange, more yellow is going to show. So if I want more orange to show through, I need to put more orange on top of that yellow. I'm going to get a little bit of the reds going. Now we've got the red inside through our stumps and veins, right? But I don't want the red to be very dark yet. So right now I'm just going to sort of do a scribble of the red on the inside here. And then sort of blend that into my yellow. I need a little bit more red up these sides in the yellow. Bring it down a little bit. And now what I'm going to try to do is, my colors are separated a lot here compared to the example on my leaf. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to actually try to get the veins of the leaf into the drawing. And so to do that, I'm going to take out, another color, a brown or a brownish red, right? I'm just going to lightly put my veins in of the leaf. And not a whole lot of detail because I don't want them to stand out too much. And again, I'm going to try to blend those in to smooth them out to make it look like they're part of the leaf and not just sort of on top of the leaf. Right? But most of the veins in our example leaf here show up as yellow or show up as light green, right? They show up as a different level of texture. So again, what I can do is I can take a different color, a different orange or a different yellow, and sort of go back over my work and try to add some of these veins in as they would show up on the leaf. Okay. And so what I'm doing here is I've layered both yellow and brown over so that it's not just a solid brown like the stem is. To get some of those colors in there. And then I want a little bit more red, so I'm going to cover up some of my yellow, just a light scribble around. I still think I got too much yellow there, so I'm going to blend that in. Okay, and now we're starting to get there. And now here I want to try to capture some of this green that's up here in this leaf, and I apologize for the camera trying to focus while I'm working. I'm going to take some light green, and this edge of this leaf still has a little bit of green life to it, so I'm going to put some green in there. Again, smooth that out so it's not so standalone-ish. And then my leaf also has a couple points that are starting to, that have frayed, right, and starting to die, right? So it's starting to crumble. I can add those darker elements in as we go. So that's how we work it with oil pastels. If you want to do another example with pencil crayon, it can work the exact same way. So on my sheet down here, and we can do a second sort of smaller leaf, and this time we'll use the pencil crayons. So this leaf's got a bit more green and a bit more brown into it. So instead of actually tracing with a pencil, I'm going to start with my pencil crayon. So same idea, I'm just going to quickly contour line my leaf, just getting the outside shapes. As we go. And again, these are all leaves that I just picked up outside, so they're not perfect leaves. They're not, picture perfect ones or anything like that. They have pieces that are ripped off and edges, and that's okay. So we get our shape, general shape, and then I'm going to try to do the same idea, right? My Most of my edges are brown, so that's why I started with a brown pencil crayon. Right, but when we look at the color, more of the color on the inside is more of an orange, right? So I'm going to start sort of lightly, and I'm not pushing very hard. Just color the outside edge. And again, I'm doing this very, very rough for a reason, because when I want to layer pencil crayons, to be able to get them to blend and show different colors or different shades, they've got to be light. If you put them too hard, there's not going to be any room for any of the other white paper to show through, to show any different colors. Again, once I've got my sort of outline done and I'm happy with how much color, right? If you want to go further in, you can go ahead and go further in. Right, but then I'm going to do the same idea, moving my orange one out of the way. I'm going to do the same sort of thing with a light red, and this time I'm going to go a little bit further in on the leaf. And essentially what we're doing with the pencil crayons is we're going to explore the value of each color of these pencil crayons, right? And if you remember, again, the value is how light or dark, or lightness and darkness and shadows created. So the value of this red is this is how light it goes, and then we're going to play around with how dark it can go after. So notice with the leaf here, this side is darker than this side. So I'm actually going to finish and add a little bit more red on this side and leaving a little bit more of the white on the inside. And probably actually picking up a little bit more orange on this side as we go. All right. We get a little bit of green that shows up in this leaf as well. So again, I can come up to this top half. I can try to get some of this green in, but now you'll notice I'm pushing a little bit harder on my crayon, my pencil crayon. So I'm filling in the white space that was left from the light sketching of the leaf the last two times with the red and the orange, just now, because we're going to start blending the colors in a little bit. Got a little bit of a peach going on. Capture some of this lighter color of these oranges. And again, now I'm pressing a little harder to fill in these colors and shades. Sort of blend them around. So this orange gets really dark really fast, so you want to be careful with how hard you push. Otherwise, we don't get the blend color we want. Okay. And this leaf, most of my stem is sort of that orange shade. So again, I can use the orange pencil crayon that I have and just lightly sort of sketching through very quick lines. You know, these aren't planned out. I haven't spaced them. I haven't sort of made sure they're unique or anything, any of the shapes or sizes. And it's real quick, real rough and raw lines. That way it shows more unique lines that we'd find in nature. And take up my brown again. Just add a little bit of brown to fill in the background. And no matter what you're using, if you're using the oil pastels or the pencil crayons, they're not going to look exactly like the leaf you've picked up outside. And that's okay. The whole point is to try to capture the color and the different colors that show up naturally in nature. Right? That we look at every year and we take for granted every year when the leaves fall off. Right? Again, it's got some darker edges around the stem down here. The stem goes up a little darker. Right? And then I can add sort of some of the texture, right? What we did before. These edges that are sort of starting to die, add a little bit of dark color to them. You have some pitting up here on the leaf. So again, I can use pointillism that you looked at in value. Add some value to the leaf. Make it look three-dimensional. And adding that texture to the leaf. All right, so there's two examples. We've got one with oil pastel and one with pencil crayon. You can decide what you use and what depending what materials you have, and hopefully you guys enjoy trying to capture some fall colors with leaves. Thanks, guys.